You think you're in control, don't you? That every choice you make is yours, born from freedom, from logic, from reason. But what if I told you that the worst decisions you've ever made weren't mistakes at all? What if they were inevitable, patterns written into your mind long before you ever called them yours? Sit with that. Let it sink in. You've felt it, that split-second hesitation, that reckless yes, that too late no. And afterward, you asked yourself, why did I do that? Not once, not twice. Again and again. That's not failure. That's something deeper, something older. Ancient philosophers weren't just thinkers. They were observers of the soul. They saw what most of us ignore. They believed that beneath every conscious choice, there's a hidden current, a logic shaped by fear, desire, pride, shame, ego. Not the logic of the mind, but of the soul trying to survive in a world too complex to master. Socrates said the unexamined life is not worth living. He didn't mean journaling once a week or reading motivational quotes. He meant that most of us walk blind into our decisions, driven by assumptions we've never questioned. We confuse comfort with wisdom. We think we're being strategic, but we're just avoiding discomfort. That's not logic. That's fear with a mask on. Think about the last terrible choice you made. Maybe you stayed too long in a job or relationship. Maybe you lashed out when you should have stayed quiet. Maybe you said yes when your entire body screamed no. On the surface, it was irrational. But if you look closer, there was a twisted kind of logic, rooted in childhood conditioning, social expectations, ancient instincts for belonging and safety. Plato described the soul as a chariot pulled by two horses, one noble, one wild, and the charioteer struggling to control both. That's you. Every decision you make is a tug of war between your better self and your impulsive self. You're not weak, you're human. But if you ignore that inner conflict, you don't stand a chance. The Stoics knew this too. They taught that most suffering comes not from events, but from our reaction to them. They urged people to pause, to think, to question. Why did I want that thing so badly? Why did I avoid that conversation? Why do I need to be right? Their wisdom wasn't about suppressing emotion. It was about understanding its logic. Even the Buddha spoke of this. He taught that craving, our need for pleasure, approval, certainty, is the root of suffering. And craving doesn't whisper, it shouts. It drives decisions that betray your long-term peace for short-term hits of control. We lie to ourselves, telling stories to justify the unjustifiable. But the logic is always there, just buried. There's a hidden logic in chasing the wrong people, in staying silent when you should speak up, in self-sabotage. It's a strategy your unconscious mind believes will protect you, even if it breaks you. Why do we betray ourselves so often? Because ancient survival demanded it. In tribal life, being wrong wasn't the biggest risk, being rejected was. So we evolved to fit in, not to be right. We overcorrect, people please, stay small. That's the real cost of fitting in. Our worst decisions often come from an ancient fear: if I stand alone, I will not survive. Modern neuroscience is just catching up to what philosophers knew for centuries. The mind is a battleground of competing voices, the child seeking love, the adult chasing respect, the shadow hiding shame, the higher self longing for meaning. And every bad decision is a moment where one voice drowns out the rest. But here's the twist: understanding this doesn't remove the pain. It reveals the pattern. That's the first step to real freedom. Not just choosing, but knowing why you choose. You won't always win the battle, but you'll know it's happening. That alone is power. The logic behind your worst decisions isn't a flaw. It's a map, a code, a message. Every mistake is trying to teach you something. Not just about the world, but about you, about the hidden beliefs you carry, the wounds you pretend aren't there, the ancient fears that still hold the pen when you write your future. Look at your patterns. Not just what you did, but what you believed when you did it. Did you believe you weren't enough? That you'd be abandoned? That failure would define you? That you had to be perfect to be loved? These are not just feelings. They are ancient rules written deep into the wiring of your soul. Until you rewrite them, you will keep reliving them. And yet, you are not doomed. The very same philosophers who exposed these patterns also taught the way out: awareness, stillness, reflection, the ability to sit with discomfort, to interrogate your own mind, to hold space for your own contradictions. That is the beginning of wisdom. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Your worst decisions aren't detours. They are the path. They are the invitation to awaken. So the next time you feel yourself slipping, pausing when you should act, acting when you should pause, don't just fight it. Listen. Ask, what ancient belief is driving me right now? Whose voice am I obeying? What truth am I ignoring? Because that's where real change begins, not in silencing the chaos, but in hearing it clearly, in stepping back far enough to see that your decisions are not random. They are echoes of old lessons, of deep fears, of ancient logic still alive inside you. But you can rewrite the script. You can choose differently, not overnight, not perfectly, but honestly. Your worst decisions hold the blueprint to your transformation, but only if you stop judging them and start understanding them. The ancients weren't just wise, they were mirrors. What they saw in their time, we're living in ours. Same fears, same desires, same battles, different distractions. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are not a mistake. You are a battlefield of unseen logic, and buried beneath the noise is a choice. This time make it consciously.